The night sky unfurls above us, an inky sky strewn with the billions shimmering points of light. It's a vista that has transfixed humanity since time immemorial, a source of wonder, of myth, and of quiet existential contemplation. But there are moments when the celestial tapestry is violently interrupted. A streak of fire, sudden and swift, tears through the darkness. It blazes and fades in a matter of seconds, leaving our minds reeling. We have just witnessed a meteor's fall. These celestial interlopers, fragments of asteroids or comets, carry with them a potent, almost primal symbolism. They embody a cosmic paradox, beauty born from destruction, a dazzling display born of celestial debris. It is this fiery descent that holds a deeper significance, one that speaks directly to the nature of creativity, the role of the artist, and the ever-evolving tapestry of human consciousness. Thinkers as diverse as the psychoanalyst Carl Jung and the ethnobotanist Terence McKenna have grappled with the hidden dimensions of reality, the wellsprings of human inspiration, and the idea that both our minds and the cosmos itself might be far more complex than we readily comprehend. In Jungian psychology, we have the concept of the collective unconscious, a vast repository of universal archetypes, the shared psychic inheritance of our species. Jung writes, "In addition to our immediate consciousness, there exists a second psychic system of a collective, universal, and impersonal nature, which is identical in all individuals. It is in this ocean of the unconscious that powerful symbols find their source." McKenna pushed this notion further, proposing that the cosmos is teeming with dimensions of information and consciousness accessible only under extraordinary conditions. What we experience as visible light is only a tiny fraction of what there really is, he proclaimed. His theories hinted at an interpenetrating reality where matter and thought dance in a continuous flux. The falling meteor embodies a nexus of these principles. It is a physical interruption from the boundless sky, a symbol that straddles the boundaries between the explicable and the ineffable. It hints at the reality where the material and the immaterial blur. Consider the very act of the meteor fall. A celestial object is suddenly and violently transformed. It sheds its form, becoming fire and light, a pure burst of energy, and then nothingness. This act of sudden transformation, of dissolution, parallels the genesis of a truly original idea. Inspiration does not coalesce gradually. It strikes as suddenly as a meteor, bringing with it a searing flash of illumination. The meteor's fiery descent isn't just a symbol. It may actually be a physical manifestation of a transmission from another dimension, be it the universal storehouse of Jung's unconscious or the multidimensional tapestry imagined by McKenna. The artist acts as a kind of antenna, their mind uniquely tuned to pick up these transmissions. They are like sails on an open sea, moving by invisible winds that others remain oblivious to. Having established the meteor as a potent symbol, let us dive into the framework proposed by Carl Jung to understand its significance with respect to the genesis of new ideas. Jung's concept of the collective unconsciousness provides a remarkably fertile lens through which to view the meteor's symbolism. This shared psychic substrate is not a mere storage facility for repressed memories and instincts, as Freud theorized. Rather, it is a living ocean of archetypes, universal patterns, symbols, and narratives that have shaped humanity's understanding of itself and the world from the very dawn of consciousness. Archetypes are predispositions, fundamental modes of psychic apprehension. They are like grooves in the mind, waiting to be filled by experience. Think of the archetype as the hero, the mother, the trickster. These figures appear in myths across cultures and throughout history, hinting at their fundamental nature, embedded within the collective unconscious. The meteor embodies several potent archetypes. Firstly, it is an embodiment of sudden change, of swift, unpredictable transformation. It is both celestial and fiery, bringing the realms of heaven and earth. In ancient mythology, falling stars were often seen as omens, harborers of upheaval. Think of the Star of Bethlehem, which foretold the birth of Christ, radically reshaping the spiritual landscape at the time. This echoes the power the meteor holds in our creative imagination. A single idea can disrupt our entire worldview, igniting a cascade of new thoughts and possibilities. The meteor's descent parallels the very way in which ideas emerge from the unconscious. Jung writes, "The unconscious sends up its contents, usually in the form of spontaneous fantasies, dreams, and visions. We don't consciously will a new idea into being. It arrives in a flash in the darkness." The meteor mirrors this. One moment the sky is serene, the next it is ablaze. This unpredictable yet transformative power of inspiration is the essence of the meteor's symbolic resonance. Now, this Jungian perspective lays a foundation, but to fully grasp the weight of the meteor symbolism, we must venture further, exploring the ideas of Terence McKenna. Terence McKenna, an unorthodox visionary at the fringes of academia, pushed the boundaries of our understanding of consciousness, reality, and the very structure of the cosmos. While controversial, his theories offer a compelling framework through which to deepen our understanding of the falling meteor's symbolism. McKenna rejected the prevailing paradigms of scientific materialism. He believed the universe contained far more mystery than contemporary science acknowledged, proposing instead a vision of interpenetrating dimensions, teeming with intelligence and information inaccessible to our ordinary senses. "What we experience as visible light is only a tiny fraction of what is really there," he declared. Within this hidden landscape, the distinction between mind and matter might dissolve, suggesting reality is, at its core, a continuous interplay of consciousness and energy. If we accept, even hypothetically, McKenna's notion of hidden dimensions, then the meteor reveals new layers of potential meaning. It may not merely be a symbol of unconscious processes, but a physical manifestation of a message or burst of information originating from elsewhere. Imagine for a moment that the universe is filled with currents of information, like schools of fish moving with invisible purpose beneath the ocean's surface. The meteor, suddenly drawn from this vastness, acts as a carrier wave, a fleeting embodiment of something from a reality beyond our own. This dovetails with McKenna's concept of novelty. He proposed the universe is driven by an intrinsic force that pushes it towards ever greater complexity and unexpected permutations. The meteor, with its otherworldly origins and inherent transformative power, embodies this force. What is a new idea, a truly original thought, but a surge of novelty thrust into our world? Perhaps this is what the meteor symbolizes. Not only the emergence of the new, but a whispering hint at that source of this novelty that lies far beyond the confines of our own minds. Now, whether we fully subscribe to McKenna's radical cosmology or not, his ideas spark a crucial question. What if the boundary between our consciousness and the wider universe is far more porous than we dare imagine? This leaves us to consider the unique role of the artist, that of the receptor, the translator, and the visionary seer. If the meteor represents a flash of inspiration from the collective consciousness or a fleeting transmission from a hidden dimension, then we must consider how we mere mortals might access this profound source of creativity. Herein lies the unique role of the artist. To speak of the artist is, of course, to speak of a vast range of individuals engaged in countless forms of expression. Painters, poets, dancers, musicians, and all the myriad forms creative energy takes place. Yet at their core, artists share a heightened sensitivity, an openness to those invisible currents that course beneath the surface of our ordinary perceptions. It is this sensitivity that sets them apart. Imagine the artist's mind as a finely tuned antenna, perpetually scanning the ethereal frequencies the rest of us miss entirely. They notice the subtle patterns and shadows, the poignant melody amidst the city, the hidden symbolism within the mundane. Their creative process is not one of willed fabrication, but rather of receptive attentiveness. In a sense, they are like shamans of modernity, intermediaries bridging the ordinary world and the vast unseen landscape of the mind and perhaps even beyond. However, mere sensitivity is not enough. The second crucial aspect of the artist's role lies in their skill. Think of a skilled sailor. It is not enough to feel the slightest shift of wind. They must possess the technical mastery to harness its power, to trim the sails, and to navigate the unseen forces governing the ocean. Similarly, an artist must master their chosen medium. Through painstaking practice, they learn the language of their art, be it the grammar of colors and form, the rhythmic structures of music, or the fluidity of the body in dance. Skill gives the artist the means to translate the raw energy of inspiration into something tangible, something that can be experienced and shared. Thus, the true work of the artist lies in his delicate dance between receptivity and expression. They receive the cosmic transmission, the meteor flash of insight, the whisper of an archetype, or the hint of a hidden dimension. Then, through their mastery of form, they give it shape. The poet finds words to clothe the ineffable, the musician sculpts sound out of silence, and the painter gives visual form to visions unseen by ordinary eyes. In doing so, they don't merely create objects of beauty, they act as translators, rendering the language of the unconscious, or perhaps even transcendental, into something the rest of us can perceive and be moved by. While we've focused on the artist's unique role in receiving and translating these symbolic transmissions, it's crucial to remember that artistic expression and the yearning for deeper meaning are fundamental aspects of the human experience. We are all, to a degree, capable of tapping into that same source that inspires the artist. Think of those moments when we are deeply moved by a piece of art, a painting, a symphony, a poem. Something about it resonates with a hidden part of ourselves. In that moment of connection, we aren't merely passive consumers. We become participants in the same creative process that drove the artist. For a fleeting instance, we too sense those invisible currents. We too get a glimpse of the underlying order of the universe the artist has so masterfully made tangent. This idea has deep historical roots. The philosopher Plato speaks of amnesis, the concept that we do not truly learn knowledge, but rather remember knowledge that our souls possessed before birth. Art, in its ability to awaken something deep and forgotten within us, becomes a catalyst for this remembering. Similarly, romantic poets like Wordsworth emphasize the importance of a childlike sense of wonder, of being able to find the extraordinary in the seemingly ordinary. This aligns with the artist's ability to look at the world as if for the first time, to find profound meaning in the flight of a bird that most of us would simply ignore. From this perspective, to embrace and support artistic endeavors is not merely a matter of enriching our lives with beauty. It's about nurturing a faculty within ourselves that connects us to something essential about the cosmos itself. The falling meteor, the artist's creation, and our response to both becomes interconnected. We become active participants rather than passive observers in the vast ongoing process of creation and transformation that animates the universe. Consider that throughout human history, many of our most enduring cultural treasures, our myths, our religious traditions, our architectural wonders, were born from this drive to give form to the ineffable. To contemplate the meteor's symbolism and the artist's role thus links us to the long chain of humanity, those who, throughout the ages, have sought to understand our place in the great cosmic dance of creation. From a fragment of rock cast out of the cosmic expansion to a symbol gracing the canvas of our collective imagination, the meteor's journey holds a mirror to the very nature of creation itself. It compels us to reconsider the boundaries between the inner and outer worlds, between the tangible and the ephemeral. Whether its incandescent trails hint at archetypes surging from the collective unconscious, or the transmission of otherworldly knowledge, the meteor challenges the limits of our perception and dares us to embrace the boundless potentials of the universe. In the artist, we find a kindred spirit, an explorer of those same ethereal realms. Their sensitivity acts as a divining rod, locating the hidden springs of inspiration. Their honed skills are the tools with which they carve conduits from the unseen to the tangible. Through their paintings, their symphonies, their words wrought with exquisite care, they translate the language of the cosmos into a form we can comprehend, a form that can ignite our own imagination and stir within us a profound sense of connection. The symbolism of the meteor and the unique role of the artist transcends mere aesthetics. It invites us to reject the constraints of a purely materialistic worldview, and to remember the deep interconnectedness of mind, matter, and the ceaselessly dynamic tapestry of the universe. When we open ourselves to awe, to those moments where the ordinary reveals itself as extraordinary, we tap into the very same source of creative potential that the artist channels within with such mastery. Let us not merely relegate the task of meaning-making to artists. Let us all endeavor to maintain the sense of childlike wonder, to cultivate an eye that finds the profound in the mundane, just like the meteor, a humble cosmic traveler, ignites within us vast and profound reflection. Let us be open to the sudden flashes of inspiration that course throughout our lives, humble enough to recognize that we are all instruments in this unfolding symphony of consciousness. Perhaps the true power of the meteor's symbolic resonance doesn't lie in providing definitive answers, but in the questions it provokes. Where do the seeds of our ideas truly germinate? What role do we each play, intentionally or otherwise, in the grand evolutionary drama of the cosmos? How might we cultivate a deeper relationship to the wellspring of inspiration that feeds both the individual and the collective soul? Let us carry the image of the meteor with us, a burst of brilliance amidst the infinite expanse, a reminder that the universe, in our own mind, holds far more wonder than we can ever fully comprehend. Let that wonder be our guide, and let us meet the creative potential in each new day with openness, curiosity, and a fiery spirit worthy of the cosmic spectacle we are all a part of.